Resources. A resource can be defined as any natural or artificial substance, energy, or organism which is used by human beings for its welfare. Artificial resources. The resources which have been developed by human beings during the growth of civilization are called artificial resources, for example, biogas, thermal electricity, plastics, etc. Natural resources. Natural resources are materials from the earth that are used to support life and meet people's needs. Any natural substance that humans use can be considered a natural resource. Natural resources occur naturally. We cannot create natural resources. Instead, we use and modify natural resources in ways that are required by us. Oil, coal, natural gas, metals, stone, and sand are natural resources. Other natural resources are air, sunlight, soil, and water. Animals, birds, fish, and plants are natural resources as well.
Natural resources are broadly categorized into following main kind of resource.
Inexhaustible resources. The inexhaustible natural resources are in unlimited quantity and are not likely to be exhausted by different human activities, for example, sunlight, air, and water, etc. Exhaustible resources. The exhaustible natural resources are limited in nature and can be exhausted by the different human activities, for example, coal, petroleum, and minerals, etc. Renewable resources. It includes the sources of energy which can be reused or generated. If renewable resources belong to living things such as trees and animals, they can be called organic renewable resources. If renewable resources belong to non-living things such as water, sun, and wind, they can be called inorganic renewable resources. These are the resources that get renewed or replenished quickly. For example, sun. The energy obtained from sunlight is solar energy. The sun is the ultimate natural resource for all living beings on the earth. Plants utilize solar energy and make their own food through photosynthesis. Soil. Soil is a valuable resource as it is the layer in which plants grow. Living beings require food to live. Plants produce most of the food that is required by living organisms. Biogas. Biogas is a form of fuel that is a mixture of gases such as methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and other gases produced by the breakdown of animal and plant wastes such as animal dung in the presence of water with the help of microorganisms. It is commonly used as a fuel for gas stoves, particularly in rural regions. Wind. It is an important renewable resource required for the survival of living organisms. Air is important to carry out photosynthesis, the process by which green plants turn carbon dioxide and water into food using energy from sunlight, and respiration, the inhaling of oxygen and the exhaling of carbon dioxide in plants and animals, respectively. The energy that is obtained from wind is termed as wind energy. Water. Water is required for survival. Humans use water for a variety of reasons, including drinking, washing, cooking, and cultivating crops. Hydroenergy is generated by water flowing into a river or water held in a dam. Hydroenergy is power that is generated from moving water, such as rivers. Converting hydroenergy into electrical energy is a simple way to utilize it. Electrical energy is a specific form of energy that is the result of an electric charge.
Non-renewable resources. It includes the resources which are limited and cannot be recycled or recreated easily, such as coal, oil and natural gas, fossil fuels. Non-renewable resources can be called inorganic resources if they come from non-living things, for example, minerals, land, soil and rocks. Some non-renewable resources come from living things such as fossil fuels. They can be called organic non-renewable resources. These are the resources which have a limited stock. For example,
Natural gas, often known as compressed natural gas, is an excellent alternative to petrol and diesel. It burns quickly and generates a large amount of heat. It's an excellent source of hydrogen. LPG. Liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, is made from petroleum gas. LPG is used for cooking and also for running vehicles. Coal. Coal is used as a fuel to generate electricity and in factories and steam engines. Petroleum. Mineral oil or crude oil are other names for petroleum. Petrol, diesel, cooking gas, and kerosene are all made from this liquid mineral. It can be found deep within the earth. Minerals. The earth contains minerals like gold, bauxite, mica, iron ore, and many others. They are reducing as larger and deeper mines are being dug to obtain these minerals. Mining these minerals causes damage to the earth. Nuclear energy. This energy source involves use of radioactive material that is found in nature. Uranium is primarily used to make nuclear reactor fuel rods. Heat is generated when neutrons, neutral particles present in the atom, hit with the fuel rods. This converts water to steam, which is used to move turbines. As a result, it generates electricity. Natural resources come in many forms. It may be a solid, liquid, or gas. Natural resources are categorized into different forms. A. Forest resources. Forest is important to human beings. Some of the resources of forest are timber resources, honey, horns, waxes, and insecticides. B. Mineral resources. Mineral reserves are reducing every year through mining activities. We have to reserve natural resources like petroleum, gas, copper, aluminium, water, etc. Naturally, mineral resources are in three categories: solid, liquid, or gas. C. Food resources. Plants serve food for many organisms. Resources that are used to make food are called food resources. Agriculture is the main source of food resources. D. Land resources. Agricultural, infrastructure development, and residential land comes in land resources. E. Water resources. Water covers about 75% of Earth's surface and is necessary for life. Examples of water resources are rivers, oceans, lakes, and underground water. F. Energy resources. Heat, power life, or producing electricity is an energy resource. There are four fundamental sources of energy: solar energy, nuclear energy, gravity, energy in the interior of the earth. Natural resources conservation. We are in a state where we have lost a lot of natural resources due to the exploitation by humans. It is our responsibility to preserve natural resources for the future well-being of mankind. Conservation of natural resources is all about preserving and taking care of these resources that come directly or indirectly from nature. Conservation is a holistic approach which includes preservation, maintenance, sustainable utilization, restoration, and enhancement of natural resources. Thus, the aim of conservation is twofold: to ensure continuous yield of resources by establishing a balanced cycle of harvest and renewal, to preserve the natural resources and the quality of environment.
Let's discuss the methods and practices of conservation one by one.
Water conservation. Water is essential for life on earth. The following are few ways in which we can conserve water. Afforestation or growing of more and more plants can help the water to penetrate inside the soil and in turn replenish the underground water table. Practicing rainwater harvesting and storing the rainwater for domestic use purposes. Treatment of domestic wastewater and water from industries before their disposal in the water bodies to prevent water pollution. Using efficient agricultural irrigation methods such as drip water irrigation and the use of sprinklers to reduce the wastage of water. Judicious and wise use of water for washing and cleaning purposes. Avoid unnecessary usage of water by ensuring that all the taps are tightly closed and no water is dripping. Close the tap while brushing your teeth. Check for leaks of faucets, taps, and pipes regularly to get them repaired as soon as possible. Do not water plants during the rainy season as plants can then absorb moisture from the air. Forest conservation. Forests are a unique gift of nature to man and constitute one of the prized assets of a nation. They are of both direct and indirect use and hence are aptly termed as an index of prosperity of a nation. Keeping in view the benefits which we derive from forests, it is of utmost importance that strong steps be taken to conserve forests. The following techniques could be used for forest conservation, which could eventually improve forested areas and make the available resources sustainable. Afforestation. It is the planting of trees for commercial purposes. Selective logging. Selective logging is the removal of trees within a stand based on size limitations. Controlling forest fires. Hence, precautions must be taken for such incidents. Making fire lanes, spreading chemicals to control fire, clearing out dry leaves and trees, etc. Better farming practices. Slash and burn farming, overgrazing by cattle, shifting agriculture are all farming practices that are harmful to the environment and particularly to forests. Hence, these practices must be kept under control. Checking forest clearances for urbanization. Hence, strict policies should be in place so as to avert forest land from urban encroachment. Check the mining activities in forest areas. Stop deforestation. Conservation of threatened species of trees. Develop green belt around cities. Conservation of wildlife. Wildlife and vegetation are very important factors for human survival. However, recent reports have shown that the percentage of flora and fauna in the wildlife decreases rapidly. Therefore, humankind must focus on conserving wildlife and work towards it. There are several ways a person can contribute individually to this cause and help create a good and sustainable environment for generations to come. Some of these ways are mentioned below. Pick up litter when you see it, be it on a road, a park, or a beach. Plant native trees in your area. Join organizations which share your passion of protecting natural habitats and wildlife. Take out some time to volunteer for activities like cleaning beaches, rescuing wild animals, etc. If you can't volunteer, donate to conservation projects. Educate yourself and others about why wildlife conservation is important and how it can be done. Conservation of aquatic life. Aquatic ecosystems contain a wide variety of plant and animal species that depend on one another for survival. The following are a few ways in which we can conserve aquatic life. Reduce the use of plastic. Start by spending time on your beach picking up waste that's laying about. Neglected, lightweight debris will be blown into the sea. Reduce your consumption of energy. Reduce your consumption of fuel. Doing this helps reduce the harmful and toxic carbon influences. High level of fuel consumption continue to contribute towards the increase of oceanic surface temperatures. Educate people on the aquatic ecosystems. Reduce your consumption of fish. Use social media to raise awareness. Reduce your use of chemicals. Ban use of plastic products. Conservation of fossil fuels and natural gases. Pressure inside the rock beds and sea beds was built around millions of years ago. Fossil fuels are formed by the anaerobic decomposition of the plants and animals buried under tremendous heat and pressure. Ways to conserve fossil fuels habitually. Spread awareness among people by joining fossil fuel conservation projects. Switch to hybrid or electric vehicle rather than oil vehicles. Access public transport system for traveling from home to office for reducing fuel charges on a daily basis. Avoid plastic containers for storage purpose as much as possible. Stay away from running vehicle for short distances and go through bicycle or foot. This will not only save fuel cost but also create a healthier option for you. Increasing the use of biogas, biodiesel, and wholly biofuels can work better. Cover your home with solar energy so you don't have to buy power from coal plants. Also, energy from the sun is environment protection and conservation.
Environment protection is the practice of protecting the environment at individual, organizational, or government levels for the benefit of natural environment.
The pollution of environment is one of the major concerns today. The Environment Protection Act was passed by Ministry of Environment with the objective of providing for the protection of the environment. It empowers the central government to establish authorities charged with the mandate of preventing environmental pollution in all its forms and to tackle specific environmental problems that are peculiar to different parts of the country. Saving the environment might seem like a tall order, but living an environmentally friendly life is actually quite easy. With just a few small lifestyle changes, you can protect the planet while creating a healthier life for yourself and future generations. A single household or individual can make a big difference. The more people become environmentally conscious, the healthier our planet will be. Read on for a comprehensive list of tips on how you can save the environment at home. Here are some ways to protect the environment. Plant a tree in your yard. Trees save energy and release oxygen that keeps the air clean. If you have the means and the yard space, plant a few trees on your property. Cut back on driving. Find alternate forms of transportations that consume less or no gasoline. Walk or ride a bike whenever possible. They won't cause any pollution or consume natural resources.
Volunteer to clean up your community.
Volunteer work has a direct positive impact on your area's environment. You can volunteer to pick up litter, plant community gardens, or clean up rivers. Compost your food scraps and yard waste. Composting keeps trash out of the waste stream and creates rich soil. Create a compost pile outdoors or use a bin to gather scraps if you need to compost indoors. Store all of your biodegradable food scraps, paper and plant matter in the compost and let it rot naturally. Cut back on product consumption. When you buy less, you also stop more trash from piling up in landfills. Before making a purchase, ask yourself if you truly need it and how your purchase may impact the environment. This can be as simple as staying away from the clearance rack at a store so you don't buy something you don't really need, or buying an entire jar of peanut butter rather than an individual serving. Practice the 3 R's. Reduce means to minimize the amount of waste we create. Reuse refers to using items more than once. Recycle means putting a product to a new use instead of throwing it away. Shop at second-hand stores. Visit thrift stores and vintage shops to buy clothing and look for other gently used goods like toys, games, furniture, and appliances. Choose reusable items over single-use plastic. Plastic items often end up polluting the environment and hurting wildlife. Opt to use reusable shopping bags instead of store-provided plastic ones, and regular cups, plates, and utensils instead of paper and plastic. Reduce the amount of paper you print and use. Paper production emits greenhouse gases that harm the environment. Try using a washable cloth or sponge for most of your cleanup if possible. Buy locally sourced foods. Eating fresh and local food consumes less fuel and packaging materials. Conserve water around the house. Reducing your water use saves energy and helps the ecosystem. Use fewer chemicals in your daily life. Choose chemical-free lawn care products besides all natural household cleaners, beauty and hygiene products.
Conserve electricity at home.
Saving electricity is critical to reducing air and water pollution. Make a habit of conserving electricity by turning off lights and appliances when you are not using them. Fully unplug electronics that aren't in use. Using energy-efficient and long-lasting LED light bulbs can also reduce greenhouse gas emissions at home. Encourage others to help save the environment. Advocacy and education allow more people to create a positive impact. Spread the word about environmental conservation by sharing information on social media and in conversations with your family and friends, by sharing about some of the lifestyle changes you have made and encouraging others to take action as well. Upcycle items. Creatively repurpose unwanted items to put less trash into the world. Instead of throwing things away, give them another purpose by making jewelry, household accessories, or restyled clothing. Pollution. Pollution is the introduction of harmful materials into the environment. Pollution can harm human health and the environment. It can be pollutants found in air, water, and soil. Pollutant. The harmful materials present in environment are called pollutants. Pollutants can be natural, such as volcanic ash. They can also be created by human activity, such as trash or runoff produced by factories. Pollutants damage the quality of air, water, and land.